All right, welcome back. We have a buildup of stuff that's been sitting in the mail because I've been traveling with family out in Florida. It was a really nice time, good to get away and see some sun when you live in Washington. And speaking of the Pac Northwest, we have something in today that appears to have come from the Pac Northwest, if I'm seeing this correctly. Yep. And we have, I don't know how to pronounce this. We have a knife from Autmog out of Vancouver, BC. Did I say knife? I'm really tired. Too tired for my wife. Last conversation on the drive up and too tired to do a good video. Sorry. We have a pen. All right, let me just take this over to the side in case there's any personal info. Here we go. That's kind of cool. He throws in an extra Pentel, excuse me, an extra Pentel refill. So let's take a look. I like this very minimalist packaging. I definitely appreciate that because I feel like if you have the big box, you have to keep it. It's like an obligation. If there's not a box, then you don't have to worry about it. A nice little turn on this pen. I do see one little flaw here. Maybe just a little something that was on there. Very minimalist. Interesting. It's a very interesting mechanism. Let's get that focused there. So you push it down and just puts this ball in here. These pens are very hyped, and I get why. It's just very different than other things I've seen so far in the market. This model is called the 36, I believe. I believe this is like a little brass, I don't know what you call this mechanism, but brass mechanism up here instead of doing full tie. So he's got some nice little combinations of metals he's doing. Boy, that is very simple, and you can see it's just very smooth without the spring in there. You can really kind of tell what's going on. That could not be much simpler than it is. And you just have the spring in there. And that makes this one piece down at the bottom, which I feel is very desirable. Keeps it simple, less likely to, loosen up. It's a substantial spring. You can see it's kind of thick there. You can really feel that when you're actuating the pen. So very different than some of the other pens that I've gravitated towards. And I'd say not better or worse, but just different. It's kind of interesting trying to actuate that. It's not sticking out really far, so there's not a big area that you can really get a significant purchase on there. So you just kind of got to get your finger dug in, and if you press there, it'll work. But it's not like you could bump against it. It's actually quite secure and unlikely to, like actuate by mistake, which I like. Again, he throws in another Pentel Energel here, which is nice. He probably gets them in volume, so he gets a good price on it. So that's nice for his consumers. This is a nice pen. I'm going to show this one to my wife. She kind of likes no clip. I don't have, I think, any other pens with no clip, and we'll see if there might be something of interest to her. I always try and get my wife to like some of the stuff that I like, and it rarely works, as probably is the same for most of you. But this one might catch her eye. So this is not going to be a much, deeper review than this, although I've not actually written with a Pentel Energel, so maybe I'll just check that out really quickly, because he did right after this drop a G2 refill. I think it was a Parker refill. So, I kind of like this though. Yeah, it writes well. I really like this pen. I think a lot of people would gravitate to this. If you want to see some stats on it really quickly, I'll just do a quick measurement here. So the body is right around 5 inches. Just over 5 1/8 maybe, and then all in you're talking about 5 3/8, I'd say, inches. And then weight is, it's really nice actually. It feels light, but it feels substantial, which is pretty rare. A lot of times when they're light, sorry, they don't feel substantial. But this one does. It feels quality but light, which is a great combo. 0.25, it's like right in with one of my favorite pens, the Smooth Precision. It's like a little lighter than this in a very similar size, as you'll see. Put these up against each other here. See, it's almost the same size, but the sort of where the weight is distributed differently. And you'll see the weight's very similar. So no surprise there that, you know, this would feel good to me because that's very similar to what I'm used to using. So yeah, good review for $100 too. That's, gosh, it's a really good value pen. I don't think many people would be disappointed with this. It's not super fidgety. Like, I'm sure there are people that are very fast at this now, but it's not, that wouldn't be like its primary thing. But I could see it being very simple, consistent. Like, I've now had my hands on a pretty good number of these titanium USA made or, you know, North America made pens. And this is one of my favorite ones that I've handled. It's really nice. So yeah, 2 thumbs up on this one. It's, again, probably not for everyone, but definitely for what it is, I think it's really well executed. Really like what the brand's doing with the simplicity. And I think I would probably see more of these in the future for sure. So yeah, all for now. If you like the content, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.